So this video is called Get All the Essential Nutrients. So we'll give a quick overview of what the essential nutrients are so we understand what they are, and then we'll look into some of the optimal food sources to get these essential nutrients. So the essential nutrients are lumped into a few basic categories. They include protein or amino acids, and then is essential fatty acids, then is fiber, and then vitamins and minerals. Let's look at each one. So protein. Now within the group of protein there are 10 essential amino acids, although for an adult it's actually 9 because one of them is only required for children. So there's essentially 9 essential amino acids. And what are the best sources of these? Well, everybody knows that meat is a complete protein, which means it has all 9 essential amino acids. So any animal food is a good source. Recall from the last chapter that it's good to get either grass-fed animal foods or wild-caught or seafood. But what about plant-based sources of complete protein? What are the best plant-based sources? Some of them include the following. Certain grains such as buckwheat and quinoa, they are a complete protein. Also, the combination of beans and rice together, they create a complete protein. Also, chickpeas and rice, chickpeas and wheat. Another one is hemp seeds. So that's a few ideas for some complete sources of protein from plant-based sources. Furthermore, most vegetables contain at least one or several, if not most, of the essential amino acids. So if you eat a wide range of plant-based foods and vegetables, you are very likely getting all the essential amino acids. Protein is very easy to get on any diet, so it's not worth worrying about too much. If you follow the guidelines I just mentioned, you will be fine in getting complete protein. Next we have essential fatty acids. These include omega-6 and omega-3. Let's look at optimal food sources. Now omega-6 is very rich throughout our diet. It is abundant in all animal products and many different fruit and veg, many different whole grains, beans, legumes. Pretty much any food you can throw a stick at will likely contain omega-6. It is generally very rich in our diet, so you really don't need to worry about it. But then omega-3 is very important because it is much more scarce in our diet, and it's a very pivotal nutrient because it is the building block of human brain tissue. Very important. So what are some good sources of omega-3? Obviously we have seafood. But looking at plant-based sources again, because plant-based eating is the way of the future, given sustainability, given global health, spiritual health, etc. So what are some good plant-based sources of omega-3? A few different seeds are very high in it, or at least do have it. They include hemp seeds, flax seeds, chia seeds, and linseed as well. Now these sources do contain much less omega-3 than seafood, so you want to be diligent with getting omega-3 from these sources. Between 1 to 3 tablespoons per day should do a good job. I would also recommend supplementing with omega-3 if you are eating more plant-based. Now obviously fish oil is not vegan, but you can get algae DHA supplements. So algae is a microorganism found in the ocean, and DHA is simply the most refined version of omega-3. It is the most refined molecule of omega-3. So algae DHA supplements are very recommended. Besides that, just get your chia seeds, flax seeds, hemp seeds, and also perhaps eat oysters once a month or so, even if you're plant-based, because oysters are much more sustainable and much more ethical because they don't really have sentience, and they're often fished sustainably because oysters are not so depleted as most other larger fish. So far we've looked at protein sources, essential fatty acids, then there is fiber. So fiber is found abundantly in fruit and vegetables, beans, legumes, and grains. So fiber is really quite easy to get, so long as you're eating your fruit and veg. And then lastly, vitamins and minerals. Now, in the written version of this video, in the document, I wrote down each essential vitamin and mineral, and beneath that is a list of the optimal food sources. So food sources high in that vitamin or mineral. But I'm not going to go reading through all of that, but what I will do here is mention some of the foods which happen to show up frequently in the document. Foods which contain a large amount of vitamins and minerals. Therefore, if you eat these foods, you have a very good chance of getting a large amount of vitamins and minerals. So, perhaps it's obvious, one of them is leafy greens. That shows up all the time. So that means spinach, kale, bok choy. There are others, but spinach and kale are very easy, accessible go-to ones. Also on the list, coming up very often, was fish and salmon. I recommend smaller fish than larger fish because smaller fish tend to have less mercury, less microplastics, etc. So fish can be good. And also, surprisingly, what comes up a lot is mushrooms. I never used to regard mushrooms as highly nutritious, but they happen to come up a lot when you view vitamin and mineral lists. So mushrooms are worth looking into. And lastly, on vitamins and minerals, I would recommend everyone to eat a multivitamin each day, whether you eat meat or not, because nutrient deficiencies can be prevalent, especially with vitamins and minerals, because a lot of the food we eat can have less nutrient density than it's supposed to due to soil degradation and even due to other health issues like public health issues. It causes us to not absorb nutrients as well. So therefore, having a essential vitamin and mineral supplement is very handy. That pretty much wraps up the essential vitamins and minerals. It was the proteins, essential fatty acids, especially omega-3, fiber, and vitamins and minerals. Alright then, peace.